What's up, Rockstars? Another news video for you, but this time I'm going to be going over a lot of new stuff, plus everything that's hot right now, everything from BackerKit to GameFound to Kickstarter. We're going to be doing a ton of stuff, plus there's some good updates for some old games that I want to tell you about because it means you'll actually get your stuff. Let's discuss. Thank you to my channel sponsor Into the AM. As a company that believes hard work and a great product is a proper way to conduct business, I am delighted to have them as part of the channel. They have some of the coolest graphic t-shirts around and an absolute best fit and feel that has continually exceeded my expectations. With new shirts arriving all the time and other products like boxers, hats, and even a monthly shirt club, I wholeheartedly recommend them to you. Check out the link in my description of this video for an exclusive 10% off everything they sell. Alright, now we're going to start out with a very interesting one. This is Hush, Curses of the Necronomicon. This is both a very interesting game and a terrible campaign. So, as you can see, 18 backers from 778, raised $778. And actually, when I first clicked this, it was 2 backers. So, which normally is like the wife and the mom or something like that. That's how my Patreon started. You do what you gotta do, man. This is a first time creator and they love games, and that's wonderful. It almost seemed like it, launched before they were ready, and they haven't realized it's launched yet. I don't know. They haven't done any updates. There's been 0 comments, but there's some, right off the bat, you got Hagley instead of highly replayable tower defense game. So that's already kind of a bummer. The art style is actually super cool, I feel. I really dig the art style in this. Also, you get a 20% discount, but then it says a Hush copy for XX instead of YY. I'm assuming that's not supposed to be the case. So there's some oddities in here, already, right at the very top part here. And then it kind of explains a bit about what you're getting. It calls it materials, whatever. English, I don't think is their native language. I'll point out that a little bit later. We get the main board and the rule book and the starting character cards. That's really cool. We get spell cards, curse cards. You get fast setup cards. They're so fast that their image isn't even there. I mean, that's impressive, right? That's really cool. A whole bunch of tokens and all sorts of stuff like that. And then they have all these, already unlocked things, essentially. This didn't need to say unlocked. It's just the different bundles and stuff that they have. But, that's there, except the value bundle, which is just, who knows what that's all about. They even have a new to Kickstarter thing, which is, whatever. Now it says stuff like curses, but it just shows you some images, which is kind of a bummer, right? And then characters, I get it showing off the artwork, and the artwork is cool, but sadly you don't get a lot of more information for that. For instance, it says here, turns and actions. During each of your turn, you will be able to perform 1 or more actions depending on your cards. But we don't ever see an example of that or kind of know what that is at all. And the win conditions are cool and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. It needs a lot of work. And they have all these, stretch goals that they will unlock if they were to, fund, but they're not going to, sadly. And the shipping prices, I mean, Canada always gets screwed over. Rest of the world always does too, but otherwise it's fairly okay. There's not a lot there, right? Now, the coolest thing about this, and you have to go and read to find out, is this right here. You can't speak during the game, so you're having to work together to defend things without talking. One of the curses is you have to hush. That's the namesake there. That needs to be, again, it's one of the more unique aspects of the game, and you wouldn't know about it unless you scroll all the way down there and read that little bit of text. So I think it really needs to just be a more fleshed out campaign, because I think it's a cool idea, and I would love to see this relaunched with kind of some of the improvements, and there's a little bit of touching up of the finer details. I think will really help with this a lot. There's a lot more I could go into. I'm not gonna spend forever on it, but I think it's a cool idea. I really do, and the art I think looks neat too. Monty Python's RPG book, essentially, is what this is. This is doing very well, $812,000 by 6,000 backers. It's actually kind of pricey, a little bit more expensive than a lot of their competition, but it does have the Monty Python IP there as well. So the PDF is $25. That's not bad, I don't think. But then it's $65 for the Sensible Middle Class Bundle, which is a hilarious term. But that's where you actually get the hardcover. And you do get a dice set as well. So there is that. You don't really get a choice to get otherwise, but I mean, the art looks fantastic. The style looks great. It looks like it'd be a fun read. So, I mean, look at this. It looks really, really nice. I will give them that. They didn't skimp out on that at all. They have these like little mini games you can do as well, which are just kind of goofy and silly. Same with the Head of Light Entertainment screen, which is the DM, which is just fun stuff. Merit and demerit tokens. If you recall, I mentioned this earlier, but you get actually says it here too. You essentially have your skills and they can be silly or serious, and he kind of has the range between that. And you can even have the DM fired from their job of, corralling these crazy people, trying to make this movie, this TV show with these crazy characters. The crazy characters are the people. It sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds like a very fun spin on an RPG, and I'm really excited to see it do well. And I'm excited to see they didn't seem to skip out on it. A little pricey, I feel. For instance, there's a Cowboy Bebop role-playing game. I wanted to share that as an anime fan. I think that's super cool. Obviously not nearly, Monty Python level, which is a bummer, because I think in a lot of ways, this is actually doing quite well when it comes to the campaign. You got a lot of movement going on, which is nice. Big old headers. And the price, again, pretty cheap. So if you just want the PDF, it'll be $19, so $25. It'd be $50 for the actual hardcover book, plus any stretch goals that are digital, stuff like that. Now you don't get the dice, so there is, the dice aren't there, but they are doing a lot of dice sets as well, which looks super cool. Actually, I think they look really nice, and I love the hard edges on them. Actually, myself anyway. And they have tokens with like little dicing. I don't know exactly how you use that, but certainly looks pretty. They definitely got the art down and all that kind of stuff. So, and they're, as you can see, they're unlocking a whole bunch of stretch goals and stuff like that. So they're doing well, just not 800,000 well, right? But, super cool to see both of those. All right, let's go to some obvious stuff. Oathsworn Into the Deepwood, 2nd edition. This is such a straightforward campaign, and yet it's already almost matched their first campaign, which is incredible because, as it's very obviously known, a reprint is cheaper to do. You don't have to do a lot of the development or sculpt work or, all the tooling's already done for all the miniatures. And, it's a lot better on the company to be able to do something like this. So I'm very glad to see that they're doing well with it. Now, prices have gone up, and the prices on this did not go up nearly as much as I thought it would. It's actually fairly, well done, price-wise. I'm impressed here. Basic pledge, $125. Guys, do you know how crazy good of a deal that is for this game? Because at the end of the day, you're backing a known quantity. You can look at reviews. You can see the final production copy. You know exactly what you're getting. It's not the risk of investment from you isn't nearly as strong as it was like the first round, which is really nice to see. Core pledge, which has the miniatures and stuff, $225, and then $375 for the collectors all in. The fact that it's still under $400 for the all in collector's edition is just insane. And that includes the new stuff too, like the dice tray and whatnot. See, the official dice tray, the premium dice set, the pouch pack, and the secret box, all of that's new. And so that's really, really impressive. And then, of course, they have the little stuff if you're just, doing new stuff and whatnot. I mean, that's all you want. I think that's great. I think it's awesome. So, yeah, they're doing very well, and I'm very happy to see that. Next up, we have Escape from New York. This is something I've been looking forward to for a while. And obviously, now that I've seen it, I'm all on it, which is unfortunate because this was the original Snake, like Metal Gear Solid Snake, right? I mean, this was the core. This is where they got Big Boss from. So, just a classic movie in and of its own right, which is super cool. They're improving a lot of things, like this map is improved from the first version. See, oh, look, they even have improved by backers. That's kind of cool. They talk about that a little bit, and I'm glad they do that. I think that's super neat. They are screen grabs, for instead of like art or anything like that, which I'm fine with. And you have a miniatures, thing as well for $75. Which isn't a terrible price, I feel. You do get 40 of these. They all look the same here. They should update this. There was a stretch goal to make half of these an alternate sculpt, so there's 20 of each kind. And then the main box is mainly just adding miniatures, and you get the 4 here. I will say I wish they weren't big head mode. I think they call it heroic scale instead of a true scale, so their head and hands are a little bit larger typically, and I'm not a big fan of that. Additionally, right now they're much larger, 40 millimeter, 28 millimeter, and a lot of people are asking for them to be the same size. I can totally understand that. Now, they also have stuff like this that starts adding expansions, but sadly, they don't do a good job of saying what this is. And I think that's what's doing a lot of, like, this only has 157,000, which is good. But I think it could be a lot more if they explained it a little bit better. So for instance, here you have like the United States Force expansion. And it says the stuff it adds, but not how to play it. And even this 5th player expansion, and it talks about a newer player board. So you get a new board, and then it's 3 boss miniatures, but no heroes? So does that mean that the 5th player plays as a boss? I can't tell you because I don't know. And that's kind of the bummer. It has these expansions, but it's like, I don't know what they do. I don't know. And so they have stuff like bridge, across the bridge game variant, but they don't really explain that super well. It's kind of hard to figure out what's going on, I guess, which is a little bit of a bummer. I've heard middling things about the gameplay, which is kind of a oof as well. Though I don't think it's going to be bad. I'm just not sure it's going to knock your socks off either. But just a real big bummer that there's a few missteps there in the campaign-wise. And it goes to show that it's not just you can get IP, you can make a game, you can make a campaign, but all of those are not exactly the same. You can have one and not the other, right? And so this is kind of a bummer to see it not doing as well as I think it could if it had a better campaign. Next up, we have Warcrow Adventures 223 by 1,781. Again, not as big as I suspected it was going to be. We have a lot of these. I think some of it is this kind of stuff, right? I mean, there's a lot of money going into some of these other things right now, and there's a lot coming up, like the Cthulhu Decimated Ice Season 3 and stuff like that. So it's kind of a really hard point right now to like really mark your own path. But this is done by Corvus Belli, and they will be doing a skirmish game with these. And I'm actually really interested in that, more so than probably the dungeon crawl. It has some cool stuff to it, though. So let's go ahead and kind of walk through that. So it has this. This is the initiative track, and as you do actions, you move across it. Novus Aetus had this as well, and I really dig the idea of this little spinner dial, this time tracker kind of thing. I think that's super cool, so I do like that. One of the issues I heard is that the part given to influencers to like show off the game is a little kind of early game and a little lackluster, so it's not the best first impression, perhaps. It is a required app, by the way, as well. And I know that makes a lot of people, and comment down below. Let me know if you're one of those, because I bet if you look, there's quite a few people saying, yep, nope, instantly out at the moment, there's a required app. Now, there's going to be a ton of you that are commenting, you shouldn't care, embrace it, or, whatever. And I say, let people make their own decisions, I suppose. It doesn't matter. But it is one of those things where it's kind of like if it's not soloable. So I think it says it's 2 to 4. You could multi-hand it. But without a solo mode, especially app driven even, that means that there's that many people that won't back it because it doesn't offer a solo mode, stuff like that, right? I think that happens quite a bit. But they are, unlocking stretch goals and doing stuff. They're doing daily unlocks as well, so that's pretty cool. It does tend to ride the odd sense a little bit when it comes to character design. And none of the miniatures match the art, which I love the miniatures, I think, more than the art. And I really do like this miniature looks great, I think. But it really bothers me when it doesn't match the art. Also, there's some oddities, right? Like you get this mage person here, which is super cool, but then she's like wearing like what looks like sunshades. So, I don't know. And because they're yellow, it makes it seem like it's sunglasses more than even glasses. But, you have this cool Dryad guy, and again, I think they're designed super well. There's certainly nothing as standard. This reminds me a lot of Massive Darkness 2, where each hero is not what you think of. So you're like, okay, a mage. Well, no, not quite. The closest I could actually see is, I think, this orc guy. I think this orc guy is pretty almost bog standard, and I think he looks awesome. I'm very big on archetypes, and just kind of like I dig it. So the wood dryad's fairly close. We've seen some wood dryads before. The dwarf is okay. I think it's an odd hairstyle for the dwarf. It seems to me, it looks clean shaven, and then just like normal kind of hair. I'm assuming this is a dwarf. Maybe it's not. It looks dwarfy. But I guess who knows? It seems shorter than this. And then again, you have the mage with glasses, right? And then it looks like you have another mage, but with like what looks to be quite ornate, like armor, like a knight's armor. So maybe it's like a knight, but then they don't have the sword. So I don't know. Very unique things there. And I'm wondering if that's setting some people off too. Same with the monster designs. I actually like every single sculpt in this game except one. And I like all the art for the most part, except one. We'll get to that. But the enemies here, like these husks and marked and stuff, I think these look fantastic. But again, they are not your standard fantasy stuff. So if you play D&D, you might be less interested in this. I'm not sure. Also, I think these renders actually aren't doing them justice. I think they look better without. I think Command does a very good job at getting their minis painted. It's an expensive service, I'm sure, but it does help a lot. It makes it look really good. These kind of like tan on red, just even it's good render quality. The contrast is good, highlights are good, but still I don't think they pop enough, and I think they would show even better in a slightly different way. So and you get a ton of stuff. So it's an app-driven game, but you're not skimping out on any of the components really. And they also have a resource management system. So you're using these cubes to like put on your abilities, which again I think sounds awesome. I dig it. I think that's super cool. This character right here, I hate this art. I think this is like one of the ugliest characters you could ever choose to play, and all personal opinion, of course. But dear God, I don't even want to see that on my table. Like that, just something about the like neck that goes into the side of the face is just not doing it for me. And I don't know, I don't like that one at all. And compared to this, look at this freaking sweet dwarf. So it's crazy to see that, and then that, yeah, not feeling that one. So otherwise, again, these minis are super freaking cool. And you get all the tiles and all sorts of stuff. So I think it looks like a really cool game. Another thing that's kind of interesting is Infinity, I believe, is 28mm. They're actually quite small miniatures. So they're very good detailed. They're very nice. But then this one, their fantasy skirmish game they're going to be doing, look at that, it's 40mm. So it's interesting that they're almost doubling, right? Like they're putting quite a bit in there. I guess it's not quite almost doubling, but it's of significant size larger, regular kind of person miniature. So, I think, for me, I think a lot of it's bucking the norm. And then also having a lackluster first impression. That's probably hurting this. Otherwise, I think it looks fairly straightforward, and I dig it. And maybe not highlighting its uniqueness quite well enough early on. So it almost looks like yet another fantasy companion app, dungeon crawler. But that's far from that. All right, next we have Deep Shelf. Deep Shelf is at 20,000 out of 45,000 at almost 300 backers. This is kind of interesting because it's kind of like Civilization meets Engine Builder meets Tickets to Ride kind of thing. So what it is you have these you're underwater, you have like these submarines. Let me try and get them out. Yeah, and you're expanding into here to like get different resources and mine them and bring them back, and then kind of go from there. I think it needs to highlight its uniqueness a bit more, I think, to really kind of do better here, because it's a great price. And look at this, a double layered board, so it doesn't get disrupted if you knock the table or something like that. I wish more games would do this. I love the fact that the base board game that you're playing on is the whole thing dual layer, so that you can put the stuff in there and it doesn't knock off. I think that's awesome. And that's super cool. It has the meeples and minis, and it has this one big mini here, but it doesn't really say how this big mini is used. And it has dice, but it doesn't mention how they're used either. And I think, especially if you're into the Euro side of this more than the Western side of this, either way, you're going to be interested in how those dice are used, So I think that's a legitimate question. One of the cool things they do is you start out different, but then as you do your research, you're going to diverge and become more and more unique as kind of you build in your set, which I think is super cool. I really dig that. I think there's a lot of neat things in this. I just think it needs to show it off a bit more, especially the premium quality of it. I think that's, ultra premium should be, number one there, especially if you like a lot of the screen printed meeples. Often that's a stretch goal. So the fact that you get that right off the bat's good. The fact that it does have miniatures. The fact that, again, the game board is dual layer. The fact that you can build up your thing and kind of expand to different ways. I think that's super neat. So there's a lot of, I think more information you can add to this to improve that. but it's a great price, $99 for the premium, and you just get like sleeves and like metal tokens and stuff. Terran Expanse, the Great Colonial Migration, 5,600. Again, another kind of struggling one, 39 backers. And I think the big reason here is, first of all, just bloat. It's a heavy duty game. There are 400. Well, gosh, what did it say here? And it even advertises it. 444 different miniatures in this game. Now, they're, all these scarabs are the same different color. The Cestus, the Errant, all those are the same miniature, right? So there's not that many unique things. It's just kind of colored differently, but it's a ton. But then it's like Denari bills. Is that what you're getting? Are they paper? What are they? How are they used? How many do you get? Here it says I get 82 cards, but it doesn't say a quantity there, which is kind of odd. And it also has some weird stuff here, like you colonize a world located in the Terran Expanse universe. The game you play drives the narrative of the Terran Expanse. Connect with players from across the globe and work together to help you gain enough power to resist the core world's autocracy once and for all. How that works, I have no idea. As far as I can tell, it doesn't really explain it, at least not at the high level. I didn't go digging. I did watch the video. I'm not sure like how exactly, like I don't see an app or anything. Do you upload your result to a website? I don't know what's going on. Same with even playing this. So they just need to explain their game more, I feel. I think that's the case in a lot of different things. So now we're at Backer Kit here, and this is Spirit Island Nature Incarnate. Another successful $612,000 from 6,500 backers. They are actually doing achievements, and they're based off different things. Like this one needs 247 more backers to do this. And notice it's a second Spirit announcement. So this is actually how they're driving updates as well, which I think is a mistake. I think you should really focus on controlling that more, but they're trying it out at least. Can I just say, by the way, that Backer Kit, the campaign, is ugly as sin. I mean, I'm all for white space. You guys have seen my thumbnails. This just looks dreary. There's just, I don't know. It just doesn't really have a lot of personality in my mind. Like, it's just, like, this looks like I'm looking at a very old website or a very bare bones website. Also, the fact that it says community instead of comments really bothers me. It's a little odd there. And it's hard to kind of go through it. And I'll explain that in a little bit as well. But I think one of the issues here is this right here. So if you go to add-ons, they have this. There's only one add-on, and it's, hey, you can get the non-Target exclusive outside the US. Otherwise, go get it at Target. Because it's available right now, which is kind of the issue because a lot of this is available elsewhere for cheaper. So you're actually paying a premium. And in fact, in one of the updates, it talks about, hey, are you saving off MSRP? And they're like, yeah, you're saving some off the MSRP. In fact, it says right here, let's see here. Each have a decent discount with some reaching to a very high discount. What the heck defines a decent discount and a very high discount? Why don't you say X off of MSRP like every other person? Like all the campaigns say $10 off MSRP or whatever. What's the MSRP? What's the price? How does it, you know what I'm saying? Like it's very slacking in that case. And they're doing the logistics themselves. And so there's like, hey, we can handle logistics. Also, we're going to try and not do that many logistics. So one of the reasons they don't want you doing add-ons is so that they just are filling this and that's it. You bought one of these and that's it. That's all they have to do. It's very straightforward. They can deliver quickly. Granted, that normally works when you don't have like 18 million SKUs, but you do. And so some people just want the photo card. Some people just want this or are just missing that. And this campaign isn't for them. It's not for them. Because you can order that on their web. Half of the stuff is on their website right now. You can go and get it, but you're, paying a lot in shipping too. You don't get the benefit of a mass order, right? That you do otherwise. But I mean, you also don't get the benefit of good logistics apparently too. So I don't know. It's kind of all over the place. I'm glad people can get what they want. I think that's awesome. Look at this, by the way. Again, I don't know why they did this. They literally if there's one thing I can say, it's don't hold stuff back. Like day one, you should have it should seem complete. So if all of it does is fund, that's great. This seems like unless it reaches like $3 million, you're not even going to find out what all these are. You haven't even announced the second one. You need almost 7,000 backers to announce what the second one is, and there's 8. how many backers do you think you're going to get? Dear Lord. Stuff like that just seems really odd. But the fact that you would list it in bullet point here instead of like in here in the images, so this just looks plain. And like, which one's which? What am I even looking at here? What is going on? Why are there no numbers here? Like what is 20 aspects for spirits? What are the aspects for spirits? As someone who's not played, I have no idea what I'm looking at. So I'm glad it's doing well, and I'm glad people are enjoying the game. But this campaign is poo-poo, which seems to be the case a lot. Oh, and Backer Kit needs to work on this too. So here are the comments, right? And you get the thumbs up, thumbs down, like, dislike. I mean, I don't know why this has a thumbs up and thumbs down, and why this one has a like, dislike. This one has a thumbs up and a dislike. It looks like if you don't say anything, it says the whole word and then it says the number. That's a weird system as well. But then they also have pageation. Like this website's from like 10 years ago. Like there's no infinite scroll. There's no load more. You literally can only see so many. It's just, that's wild. So, and here's kind of what, things missing, right? And they're talking about, better math and just a lot of kind of basic stuff that seems to be kind of not there, which is a bummer, but whatever. Okay, moving on. We have Genpei 5,000. They need 7,000. They're almost there. Beautiful art in this game. It very cheap as well. $30 will get it for you, and then it'll be like $10 shipping. Where is that at? All the way at the bottom, right? I mean, it's like cheap shipping. Shipping. Here we go. Yeah, look at that. Look, $10. $10. Nice. Okay, and that's because it's a very simplistic game when it comes to the stuff it needs to play. This is what you get. That's pretty much it there, right? You get all these different cards. They look just like this, so you're like moving things around, and it doesn't explain it very well. Again, I'm getting sick and tired of these campaigns not telling me how to play the darn game without me going over to some other third party's video to do it, or to just read the whole rulebook to a game I don't even own just to try and figure out how to play it. Like, it says at high level here, move the marker and do one of 2 adjoining spaces and perform the action. But what kind of actions those are, I have no idea. Talks about, like, the Emperor's house plays a key role. Ascend the way to the palace to prove your influence. How is that? How does it influence you? Like, I don't know. It doesn't, it doesn't explain it very well, but it's very pretty art. So there is that. And it will get you, if you get the deluxe version, these coins and this mini 4 different times in 4 different colors. Very cool mini, by the way. But this kind of, again, interesting how people run these campaigns. All right, let's take a look at what's coming up here. This is Adventure Series 1 Forged. There's some more information on this, though. It says 101 minis, and looking here, it looked like it was pretty good. Like these, there were several different sculpts. It's all one. So there's actually, I think, 29, 30-ish, something like that. So 39 unique sculpts. There's 13 here. These are all unique. And again, I think they could do the contrast a lot here. The highlights are very low, so everything looks quite dark. 15 squads, and there are 15 sculpts in those squads. And then a huge jargon. So 15, 16, plus 13. So not a whole lot here. See, it's all the same, all the same, all the same. They look great. They look high quality. I just wasn't expecting that many repeats on everything. So I wasn't expecting to get, this many, blobs or whatever the heck that is. So, that being said, they are planning another 212 minis. I'm assuming they're different sculpts as well, but different groups of them is what I'm assuming also. These heroes, by the way, I think look great. Like, from what I can tell, they look really nice. So, definitely excited to see more. Just kind of surprised. October 25th, that's coming up very soon. Destinies Witchwood is coming out. Be sure to kind of stay tuned for that. Just in 5 days at time of recording. So that was received, I think, very well from original backers. And so they're excited to get more of it. And I think that's awesome. 7,692 people have already signed up for that. Boglands, guys, did you grow up in a time period where you saw Boglands? Well, then, first of all, take some ibuprofen for the bad back. Hey-o! And I've already taken some. Don't worry about it. This is interesting because it's Gatefall. It's by Jack Dyer and a new Gatefall skirmish, but they don't put Gatefall really anywhere that's noticeable here. If you recall, Gatefall was a little skirmish game, but this has Boglins that you fight, and you get 6 little miniature Boglins, all unique sculpts, by the way, by the looks of it. So that looks quite interesting. That's also October 25th. Next up, we have Drill Bit Dwarfs, Drill Barter Conquer. This actually looks pretty neat. It's a card game, but it actually, you like use these to like, you know, like match different things, stuff like that. It looks actually kind of like a neat little card game. I'll be showing more off as it comes available, but it looked pretty neat to me when I was kind of taking a look at it. Also, I mean, guys, Cthulhu Death May Die, I kind of already mentioned it. That's coming out October 26th, which is a Wednesday, which is very weird. I believe it's Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yes, it is a week from right at time of recording, actually. So less than a week at the time you see this. But yeah, October 26th, I mean, at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gonna be big, gonna be huge. So big, they need to really crisp up this image. My goodness, that looks blurry. Okay. Quartermaster Logistics made an update for the Blacklist Games, and really just says, hey, they're doing very good. They're just hammering out all the little details when it comes to processing the money, making sure it's accounted for and goes to the correct location and stuff like that. But they'll need a few more weeks. So that's kind of what they're saying here, but they will start doing that, and I think that's awesome. And it's almost kind of funny that Quartermaster Logistics, for a game that just literally landed on their laps without any plan of actually supporting it in this capacity, can update more often than most of the games that are delayed like this. That's great. So we got one in September, we got one in October, and we got one in July. So that's actually pretty good. I know some campaigns that can't be bothered to talk about their games that much. Nonetheless, Quartermaster Logistics on somebody else's game, right? So anyway, that's it. I mean, there's a lot of interesting new stuff out here. Let me know what you were kind of most looking forward to, what it is you're backing, what you're looking at right now. Obviously, there's going to be a ton of huge stuff coming up, and I will be covering that. Of course, like Heroes and Might and Magic 3, that'll be here soon. Actually, it was supposed to be here today, but it didn't arrive because FedEx is lazy. But it's in the town that I am in. It's going to be here soon. So stay tuned for an unboxing and, of course, a review on that. And with that, take care, guys. Bye.